What's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I got an awesome video for you. I'm going to tell you exactly how much money I made in my second fight in the UFC. I'm going to tell you how much money I brought in, how much money the UFC paid me, how much money I made in sponsors, what my expenses were, and exactly how much money I took home at the end of the night. Let's get to it. I'm Myles, longtime real estate investor and professional mixed martial arts fighter. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time being here, welcome. Great to have you. Now today, I'm going to be going over how much money I made in my second UFC fight. A lot of people really enjoyed the video I did on my first fight in the UFC, how much money I made, and I want to touch on that topic again. So what better option than to tell you exactly what I made in my second UFC fight. If you haven't seen the video of how much I made in my first UFC fight, be sure to check it out. It's an awesome video and you'll learn a lot from it. Also, if you haven't already, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. It helps out a lot. So let's get to it. The year is 2013 and I'm scheduled to fight Ramsey Najim at UFC on Fox TV in San Jose, California. This is a huge fight because at this time I'm coming off a huge win over Michael Johnson where I was a 3-1 underdog, and Ramsey's coming off a 3-fight win streak in the UFC. So on paper, this is a huge, exciting fight for the fans. So leading up to the fight, I did all my training. I did about an 8 to 10 week camp. I basically just locked myself up. I was doing 2-a-days in the gym. I was eating all the right food, staying focused, doing everything I needed to do to put myself in a position to win this fight. Going into this fight, I was super confident because I was confident in my skill set. I believed I had the better skill set, and I was also confident that I put the hard work in and did what I needed to do to earn this victory. And that's exactly what happened. I came out with a KO win in the second round. It was one of the most devastating knockouts in UFC. Ramsey came in at me. I kind of faded back, right hook, knocked him down, jumped on top of him, finished him with punches until the referee jumped in, pulled me off of him, and I knew the fight was over and that I'd won. So what happens is after you win a fight in the UFC, you get escorted backstage, and it's pretty awesome. So they escort you out the cage, and you get to go down the ramp that you kind of walked in, the entrance ramp, and you get to, shake hands, take pictures with all the fans, say what's up to them. And that's what I did. I got escorted back, said what's up to all the fans, and I went backstage. And you sit down on this little booth, and basically the medical examiner comes over to you. First thing, he comes over, checks your eyes, checks your hands, checks your feet, asks you 20 questions, does the pen right there, making sure your vision's okay, and just make sure that you're medically okay and you don't need to go to the hospital. So that's what happened to me. I got checked out. I was fine. I just had a little cut underneath my eye, but I was good. So the next thing that happens is this guy in a suit comes over to you and he's got checks. And that's the awesome part. He comes over to you, you sign some paperwork, and you get handed 1 and also 2 checks because I won. So let's get into the numbers. The UFC paid me $8,000 to show, and I also got another $8,000 because I won. So that right there is $16,000. Also, about a month later, they sent me a check in the mail for an extra $5,000, which was a locker room bonus. So all in from the UFC, they paid me $21,000. Also at this time in the UFC, I was still able to have sponsors. There was no uniform policy like there is now, and I was able to kind of go out, me and my manager, and find sponsors to help pay for the camp and basically give us money for this fight. If you don't know what sponsors are, that's okay. If you don't know exactly what sponsors do, what they entail, go ahead and make sure you check out that video, my first fight in the UFC, because that I explain in great detail how much, how sponsors work, how you make your money, and everything there. So I basically brought in for this fight with Ramsey, I brought in $10,000 in sponsorship money. So I had $21,000 from the UFC, what they gave me, and then also I brought in another $10,000. So all in, I have about $31,000. Now let's not forget about those expenses, right? You have money coming in, but also too, it costs money to get a camp and you got to pay people out after you fight. Let's start with my manager. At this time, I was paying my manager 20%. This fight came out to $5,200. Now my gym fee was 10%, which came out to $1,600. Also, I had some miscellaneous fees leading up to the fight. I had massages, body work. I had to get some medicals done for the fight, which are like blood work and eye exam. I also had, I brought in sparring partners and training partners to help me for the fight, so I had some fees there. And then also I had a sports psychologist I was seeing every week, so I had to pay him as well. So my miscellaneous fees for this fight were $2,000. My total expenses for this fight came out to $8,800. And after you take the $31,000 that I made as income, you minus the expenses, the $8,800, you come up with $22,200 that I was left with. But let's not forget, there's more. You have to pay Uncle Sam in taxes. As a UFC fighter, I'm basically an independent contractor, so I have to pay my taxes just like anybody else. And roughly my taxes for this fight were right around $4,440. So after I pay basically gym, management, taxes, all the miscellaneous fees, I'm left with $17,760. That's what I take home at the end of the day. That's what I get to keep. And that's good money. I'm super grateful for that money, and I still to this day believe that's good money. Also though, what I'm really grateful for is the opportunity to be out there fighting. What my mindset was going into this fight is I want to fight and I want to compete against the best fighters in the world, and I want to move up that ladder so one day I can win and I can fight for that UFC title. That was my mindset. So that was the number one thing I was grateful for this opportunity. Money aside, it was the opportunity to work my way up and get that title shot, get that title. And let's be honest here. I mean, living in San Diego, putting together a camp, costs money, right? I mean, it's not cheap out here. So at the end of the day, the $17,760 I was left with, it was enough for me to save a little bit of money. And basically what I did is I just took the rest of that money and it got me until my next fight. Guys, don't forget, smash that like button, subscribe. I'm going to keep bringing you guys awesome content. And also don't forget, I have a big fight coming up, February 21st, Thackerville, Oklahoma. Co-main event in Bellator. It's going to be a big card, an awesome card, a great scrap for you guys. So make sure you guys check it out. And if you're in the area or if you can make it, come on down. I love to see you guys. I love to meet you. Until next time, I'll see you.